Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. Today's chat is I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Joking. No. So, what I want to talk about yesterday is what happened to me yesterday. So, yesterday, I said my teenage self showed up. Um, I had a dentist appointment, ironically, where I'm getting braces. Well, I have a Invisalign, so they have to do stuff to my teeth so they can move, which is in hindsight something you do when you're a teenager. So I'm just reliving my teenage years in my 50s. It's okay. It's okay. But anyway, so yesterday I had a meeting after my dentist appointment, and I had an appointment that ended up getting rescheduled. And I'm like, oh, it's such a beautiful day. Like, let's go out and have fun. Your husband's off work. Let's go out and have fun. So I roll down my windows, have my hair's like down and it's curly and flowing. And if you knew me in high school, we didn't have flat irons. So my definition of big curly hair is completely different than this big curly hair. Like, thank goodness for some modern technology because it really helps your hair out. Anyway, so I'm ready to come home, go do something. My husband, I get home, he is not trying to go nowhere. And I felt myself getting mad. Like, I literally felt like an entire teenager. Like, I was mad. Like, I was that teenager just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, seriously? Why not? Like, I'm just, and this has never happened. Like, I don't know where she came from, but she was ready to play yesterday. So I ended up leaving and going, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call like, I'm whining as I'm stomping in the house, and I'm texting my friend and be like, I'm bored. And she bust out laughing because if you know me, I'm never bored. I always have something going on. So I'm like, I'm bored. I'm not adulting today. I don't want to do anything. I know that I have a lot of work. I made a deal with myself that said I could go and ride some go karts and go play some putt putts. And then at night, I was going to do some work. Well, that just went completely out of it. There was no work done yesterday. It just wasn't. And that was okay. I needed it because I ended up meeting her and we went walking, kind of like you do with your friends. You go walking in the neighborhood as a teenager when you're mad at your parents. You go walking in the woods in the neighborhood. So that's exactly what we did. And it was amazing because we laughed at ourselves, especially me. I was laughing at myself. I'm like, I can't believe I had an entire hissy fit. Like, I was so laughing at myself. Like, I'm having a whole conversation with myself. Like, seriously, Atoya? Like, you're how old and you just had an entire hissy fit stomping your feet in the house? Like, somebody told you you couldn't go have a piece of candy or something? Like, I was laughing at myself so hard. And I am just like talking. And it was such a good time. And then when I came home, I actually sat on the back porch. I made me a mocktail because my teenage self can't drink, and I'm not drinking in my adult self either. So we had a mocktail, and I turned on some music, and I just had the best time. Like, for the first time, I did not feel no kind of stress, no kind of anxiety, no kind of worry, no, I had no adulting responsibilities anywhere on a plate yesterday. And it was amazing. And so in the afternoon, me and my husband, we did go out and do all kind of stuff, and we had a great time. But it was just such a fun day. And I started thinking, like, why don't we have more fun days? Like, I look at my life right now, like, I'm an empty nester. And, they always say you're never prepared for parenthood. Well, you're definitely not prepared for empty nesthood because we spent 20 some years of our life raising these babies and turning them into adults and being responsible and all of this, to now they're gone and they hardly ever call you most of the time, and then when they do, it's always and it's just like no one prepares you or teaches you how do you go back to life without being a parent, without being a mom, or like what do we do with ourselves? Like, well, I'm not doing pick up and making sure dinner, like what do we do with ourselves? It's a whole new world, we're having to figure it out. So a part of me feels like my teenager showed up inside of me and be like, hey, big mom, we just graduated, we're going off to college now, so let's go have fun. And that's literally how I felt yesterday. It's like I graduated from parenthood and now I'm going to the new university. I'm getting away from having responsibilities of other humans to just being responsible for me. And when is the best time that you ever did that? Was in our teenage years, where we're learning our freedom, which is what I'm doing. I'm having to learn my freedom. I'm having to learn how to navigate and live life, not always sitting here, well, I can't go do that. What if my kids need me? Or I can't do. And it was like I realized I was restricting myself from so much just in case my kids need me. My kids are grown. They got to figure it out. And that's a hard thing for parents to be like, well, do we trust them to figure it out for themselves? Is like really what I'm saying. Like, do I trust them to figure it out? But then I realized, well, they got to figure it out because only they can live their adult life. You can't live it for them. You can't tell them. You graduated. You're no longer the parent. You've now graduated to the role of a grandparent where you only thing you're doing is loving and nurturing. You're not raising no babies no more. You're not being the parent. You're not telling them everything to do. And it's been an adjustment. So in all, this conversation is just really, it's just take a moment and step back into your teenage years and what that felt like when you graduated, to have that freedom. Like, to not have a care in the world, not knowing what this adult real life looked like. Like, yes, we as parents realized there's nothing we could have done to prepare y'all for what adult life was going to dish y'all. And we still can't prepare you because hell, we every day we trying to figure it out too, because every day is a different day. So we don't know either. We just all winging it together. So I have to trust that you're going to learn how to wing it yourself. However, we need to learn how to have fun again. We need to let that teenager come back into our life and just let us have fun with no worry, no stress, and just do that. Like, make plans to say, okay, today's my teenager's day. We're going to let her come out. We're going to incorporate her into our daily life. Like, when can we just have fun and just live carefree? Now, of course, the goal is to live carefree every day, but we have to have baby steps because there's a lot of us that really ain't ready to face those monsters that we need to overcome to have that life of peace. But that's okay. You'll get there one day at a time. But anyway, that is my Atoya. I don't want to say rant. Let's see, what can we say? This is just an Atoya lesson. Like, yeah, I think that's what I do. It's like I'm just going to come up here and have an Atoya lesson. So, welcome to today's lesson. All right. So, talk to you